Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today, I'm doing something a little bit different. I want to finish up my little mini Dazzles kit. This is the 50s Diner Food kit, and I just barely started on it. I want to try and get some of these finished. I don't even know if I'll finish one of them during this WIP and Chat, but we'll see. Let me rearrange things a bit, zoom into the one I'm going to be working on, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. I've got my timer started. I'm going to use my own tray. I did try the new tray that Diamond Art Club provided in the new toolkit. I gotta say, it's too skinny for me. See the difference in height in the trays? I want taller walls on mine. This one, when I shake the drills, they all fall out the back because I'm just used to having a taller back. So that's what I'm going to use. So this is a kit. If you guys didn't see me unbox this one, this is a kit that has basically everything fairy dust, except there are 2 ABs and 1 crystal. Everything else is actually fairy dust drill. So it'll be interesting to see what it turns out looking like. So I think I'm actually going to use my multi-placer here so that I can do some multi-placing with these. So I need to jump into my regular life. What's going on in my regular life? It's been pretty boring. It's just been a lot more of us still packing, painting, sorting, donating, all the things to try and get everything ready to sell the house and to move. I was out looking the other day. There's only one house currently in our area for sale that doesn't have a pending contract on it. So hopefully, once we get it on the market, that means it will sell pretty fast, but we'll see what happens. You never can tell. We did find out, weirdly, we have a basement, as do most people around here, and they have egress windows. Oh gosh, I don't know how long ago, but you know, it used to be that everybody just had those tiny little basement windows that were just way up at the top of the basement, even with the ground, and too small for anybody to actually get out of the windows. And so they changed the building codes. You have to have these egress windows now, where basically the windows are quite large and there's like a window well so that you can escape from the basement in the event of, or tornado probably. But that window well leaves an open area in your yard. And I guess they weren't required when we moved in here, but I guess now they're required as part of the building code. You have to buy grates to cover them, which makes sense. I mean, you don't want somebody just wandering by and falling in them, but I mean, it's pretty apparent where they are. I don't know what changed. Probably had a kid fall in one and get hurt or something, and so now everybody has to have grates over them. So that'll be another expense, another thing that we need to get done before the house goes up for sale. We also got a notice. The city is doing this next week their last pass through town to pick up their final pickup of all of whatever limbs and trees and whatever are still waiting to be picked up from the storm. We actually were talking to somebody and asking about, there's an old motel in town. It's been abandoned for a long time, and basically the roof of it got ripped off in that big storm a couple months ago. We didn't know who owned it. I thought maybe the city owned it. Well, the city doesn't own it, but I guess they're going to make the owner demolish it because it's been sitting empty. It's been vandalized several times, and of course, with the roof of it ripped off, that was just even more of, what do they call it, an attractive nuisance for vandals and things. And so it's just going to get torn down, which is probably a good thing. I mean, I've lived here over 20 years and it's never been open in the time that I've lived here. So, and then we also found out there's another building that I guess at one point was going to get turned into like senior living apartments. Even before the storm, it was not in great shape. The person that wanted to buy it eventually backed out because it was going to take too much money to repair everything that needed to be repaired. And the building basically had like 2 pretty big trees fall on it during the storm. So I think it's going to end up getting torn down as well. Nobody is living in either of those 2, so nobody was injured, and nobody really injured at all in the storm. Some property damage. Those 2 buildings, which were basically abandoned anyway, took the brunt of it, which makes sense. When you have abandoned buildings, there's nobody there taking care of them, so of course they're probably going to get damaged more. But I was amazed now that they finally have cleaned off most of the debris and all of the tree branches and everything, just driving around town and seeing all of the people who have tarps in spots over their roofs because shingles came off or limbs came down on it and damaged it, so they need repairs. We were so lucky that none of that happened to us. Also found out that there were a couple of trees on the north side of town, basically kind of really big trees that just fell over, roots and all. And one of them actually landed on a house and shifted the house off of its foundation. So that house is basically totaled. Pretty sure the people who lived there had insurance, so that's good. But like I said, thankfully nobody was hurt, but more property damage than we actually thought there was now that you can see some of it. It's really funny. One of our neighbors across the street has a pretty big dead tree in his backyard, and he and his wife just figured it would come down in the storm, and he said crazy, they lost some branches off of the tree, but the tree's still standing, which you'd think, as windy as it was. And we've had a couple of pretty windy storms since then, and everybody is just, oh no. Our power has gone off once. Our power has flickered several times, and every time I tell my husband, oh no, let's get everything out, get all the stuff that I bought, my rechargeable lights, my battery powered lights, make sure our little solar battery is charged up, because we use it to charge phones and electronics and whatever we need to when stuff is off. Like, that was the only way I kept any kind of internet connection while the power was out, was that I could use my phone as a hotspot and use that to download books. Once I get the books downloaded to my iPad, then I have a pretty good selection I can just read from without really using, it just uses the iPad's battery, but I don't have to be connected to anything. But I do have games that I play on a routine basis, and I was like, I need to update my games. Not that there was a whole lot of anything else to be doing. Once we got everything cleaned up, yeah, not a lot else we could do. This is really interesting with all the little fairy dust drills. Curious to see how these are all going to turn out. All right, what else has been going on? Oh, my youngest can finally stop watching the mail. He was watching his email and his mail. He had he paid to have his college diploma sent to him via the mail because he didn't want to have to go pick it up. And they had said they were going to be mailed out at the beginning of July. And then he comes up July 1st, Mom, they said they mailed them out, should be here shortly. And I said, okay, well, July 1st, it's a holiday. It may not get here this week. We may have to wait until next week. It showed up the next day. He's been waiting on it for so long, since school let out in beginning of May. He opens it, looks at it, goes, hands it to me and says, okay, you can pack it now. And I'm like, you've been waiting forever for it to arrive, and that's it? Just, and now I got to pack it? Basically, he just wanted to make sure that it was here. So he's done an official now. We've got his official diploma. He's officially a college graduate, which means that some of the money that I had put aside in case he needed to take some summer classes or something, I don't need it anymore. So yay. I also went out last week to lunch with my sister and caught up with her. They had been gone on vacation. And as usual, when you go on vacation, she came back and said, I need another vacation to recover. They had gone up to Chicago, and they drove up into Minnesota and Wisconsin. My oldest is done with her summer job, so she basically has July off while she waits for school to start up again in August. Can't believe we're already in the middle of the year. This year has just flown by. Seems kind of crazy that it's already July. I think some of it, why it feels weird to me, is because hubby isn't working, so he's home all the time. So it kind of feels weirdly like a vacation. Not that we're going anywhere, but just not our norm because he's home all day, every day. We'll see how much longer that lasts. He's already getting antsy at not having anything to do, and I'm getting antsy at not having any income coming in, so we have money in savings, but we really need to get the house on the market and sold so that we can figure out the next steps. We do have an appointment this coming week with a tax person who does cross-border taxes. So after we get some of our questions answered, hopefully we'll know a bit more about what we want to do from here. We did find out that we won't have to pay any capital gains on the sale of our house, which was one of our questions. So that was good to find out because that means once we do sell the house, we would have those monies available to do whatever we decide to do when we move up there, whether we're going to rent or try to find someplace to buy or whatnot. I wouldn't mind finding someplace to buy, but I do have improvements that I would like to make. I really want a wood stove. Don't know if we'll luck into a place that has one already or if we'll have to see about putting one in. Possible heat pumps and or some kind of system like that. We'd also like to have some kind of solar system. So lots of stuff for us to consider. Plus, do we want to do that at the house we move into right away? Or do we want to wait and save that money and do that when we build something later on down the road? We don't know. But selling the house and having those funds available would be helpful. So we'll see how that goes. If it seems like I'm jumping around, I'm really not. It's just that you guys, I'm having to cut out. One of my neighbors is out mowing the lawn. Now, our very next door neighbor, people that come mow their lawn have an electric lawnmower. So it's awesome because it's quiet. It doesn't make any noise. So I don't know who's out mowing their lawn, but yeah, I'm going to have to try and remove all that background noise. All right, guys, so I finally just gave up because the lawnmower was so loud. And in the meantime, while I was waiting, I managed to finish this one. So the little Cheechin drumstick is finished. So I'm going to set up to start another one. And when I come back, I'll be zoomed in again on it and I will be ready to start talking about my diamond painting life. Be right back. I'm actually liking how these fairy dust drills are looking on this. I thought maybe it would be a little weird, but it just adds that little extra something to make it look cool. Kind of curious to see how things are going to go with the extra ones that I ordered. But before I get ahead of myself, let's see. Diamond painting world. What's going on in my diamond painting world? Well, DP for Pets is over, so another year in the books. Again, a huge thank you to everybody who participated. It gets bigger every year, which is amazing. I had a great time, but I am glad to be done with it and have it kind of off my plate. Both winners contacted me, so all the prizes are in the mail, on their way. Another successful event in the books. I don't plan to do any other events until DP for Veterans, which will be in November. I don't know yet what that's going to look like, if it's going to be the same as in years previous, or if I'm going to make some changes, because hopefully by then we'll be in Canada. Don't know if that will change things or not. We'll have to see. So I need to do some work on that, but I do also have other projects I need to work on. I want to update my logbook for 2025, make some changes, kind of update how it looks. All the old versions will still be available for download, so if you have one that you like that you want to stick with, it's not going to go anywhere. I just, for myself personally, I like my paper and pen logbook. I know there's a lot of people who keep things digitally using either like the Gems Flow app, or I saw Diamond Art Club now has a logbook on their website that you can use. which is great, but I'm assuming I didn't try it out. I don't know if you can only keep Diamond Art Club stuff in it or if you can keep other kits in it as well. I just prefer my pen and paper. Like I said, I'd rather have one that I can fill in, do what I want with it. I most of the time prefer analog to digital anyway. I also want to, in addition to updating the logbook, I want to go back and kind of reevaluate my goals for this year, see if there's any that I want to update or change. I need to start thinking about what maybe some of my goals will be for next year, which is a little hard to do until we know where we're going to be, but I can always change them, right? I just get a framework started, and then if I need to make adjustments, I can always do that. No big deal. So yeah, lots of things kind of coming up that I need to start concentrating on. I did finish Jasper C, so that is number 4 of my 5 oldest now completed. So I am looking forward to starting on Belly Dancer soon. You guys will see the finish of Jasper C. I really like how that one turned out, and I really enjoyed working on that one. Another one of those, I wish I'd done it sooner, but it is what it is. So once I finish Belly Dancer, that will be my 5 oldest, and then I'll have a new 5 oldest kits. Not sure what those will be. I think at least one of them is a Spangler. It does feel a little bit, I don't know, almost surreal to be almost done with my 5 oldest kits because they've been in my stash for so long. It does feel good. Somebody else mentioned that they were working through older kits and that it felt good to kind of be, I think they called it clearing the decks, so to speak. And it really does feel good to kind of be making some progress. I mean, I now have a new 5 oldest kits, like I said, but it does feel good to have finished the ones that I did. So I'm kind of undecided whether I'm going to keep that as a goal, whether I'm going to try and finish more of my older kits for the rest of this year. I don't know. I need to figure out what I want my next few projects to be. Fingers crossed that we'll be moving soon, and I really probably should sit down and figure out what my projects are going to be before we start our trek. I don't know what kind of space I'm going to have, so that may be a factor. I actually don't know whether I'm going to be able to meet all the goals I set for myself this year anyway, just because I don't know what our move is going to look like. I'm going to keep them where they are for now, I think. Once we actually sell the house and have like a timeline, that may change too. But yeah, just been kind of figuring out what do I want to do? Where do I want to go from here? What do I want to do next year? Blah, blah, blah. So speaking of goals, it's now a new month. How did I do in June with all of my goals? So let me just jump into my diamond painting goals update. How did I do in June? Well, my first goal, as always, is my diamond painting hours. You guys know I'm trying to do 1,000 hours a year. They say 10,000 hours at something is mastery. I've heard since that that's not necessarily true, but that it could be just that you practice something daily, and just that daily practice of it, doing it every single day, helps you master it. I diamond paint pretty much every single day, so I don't know if I would consider myself a master. I mean, I certainly know more than I did when I started, but everybody works differently. That's the thing, I think, that I've had to just kind of learn when to take advice and when to leave it. The hard thing is you don't know what's going to work for you and what isn't. So I've tried a lot of things that just ended up not working for me. I'm sure they work great for other people, just didn't work for me. So diamond painting hours. Sorry, I'm rambling again. Diamond painting hours, my goal is 1,000 hours this year. For June, I completed 62 hours and 8 minutes, which was pretty good, I thought. Not the 80-some, that's my goal, but 60 hours is nothing to sneeze at. So if I add the 6208 to my previous total of 418.48, that means at the end of June, I'm sitting at 480 hours and 56 minutes, which I'm halfway through the year and I'm not at my 500, so I don't know if I'll make the 1,000. We've been busy the last couple of months with the house and painting and packing and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what my free time is going to look like for the next foreseeable future. So I may get more diamond painting done. I may get less. Who knows? My second goal is my finishes, and even though I didn't get a ton of hours in, I did finish 5 things. So I finished, what did I finish? I finished the Jetsons, I finished the Yorkie for DP for Pets, I finished the Basset for DP for Pets, I finished the Unicorn for DP for Pets, and something else that I can't recall at the moment. But 5 finishes. So 5 finishes for June. That means I add 5 to my previous 11, and I'm sitting at 16 for 2024, which is not the halfway point. I wanted to do 35, so I don't know if I'll make the 35. We'll see, but I'm at 16, so I'm close. My third goal is my Want series, and I actually finished 2 that I'm counting because I added my Jetsons to the Want series because I really did want to do that one. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to swap this kit out with one of the other ones that I had on there, and I'm going to call that one of my Want series. And then the other one off my Want series was the Yorkie that I did for DP for Pets because I knew DP for Pets was going to be coming up and I wanted to do that kit for the event. So 2 for my Want series, and these are the square crystal drills. I've never done any Diamond Art Club crystals before. So 2 for my Want series. So if I add that, my June 2 to my previous total, which was 3, now I'm at 5. So I have 5 done off of that series. The goal was 12. I don't know if I'll make the 12, but I'm at 5. So again, close to the halfway point. Not all the way there, but that's okay. Then my next goal is the budget. How did my budget do? I actually had someone make a comment, and I thought this terminology was really great, that she wasn't on a no buy, but she was on a low buy. That she felt like she had enough stuff, but if something really cute that she really wanted came along, she would allow herself to get it, even while working kind of through her stash and trying to get through some of the older things. So my budget, how did I do? It wasn't a no buy, but it was a low buy month for me. I actually only spent $143.40. And of that, I bought 2 kits from Diamond Art Club, which were this one and the Mesmerizing Secret one. So I bought those. And then all of the pixie dust drills that I ordered from DP with sparklers. And those have finally gotten here. So now I can kind of go through those and look at those and my Belly Dancer and decide if I'm going to use any of those in Belly Dancer. I did also order some metallic drills from there that I am going to be using in Belly Dancer. Off track again, sorry. $143.40 I spent in June. That means of my $2,400 budget for the year, I have $1,013.18. So a little less than half left. And my original intention, like I said, was to save $600 or so of that to be spent on Black Friday. I don't know if that's still what's going to happen because hopefully by Black Friday we will be in Canada. I don't know if I will still spend that same amount from Canada. My dollars may not go as far depending on how I end up purchasing them. If I have them shipped to me in Canada and I have to pay import fees and higher prices, I don't know. But that's where I'm at on the budget. Then my next goal was my 5 oldest kits. I didn't actually finish anything in June. I didn't finish Jasper C until this month because I was so busy with DP for Pets last month. So I'm still sitting at the end of June, I was sitting at 3. Technically, I now have 4 done, but I didn't finish that one until July, so that will get counted next month. So sitting at 3 for my 5 oldest. And then my last goal was to increase my stash. How did I do with that? Well, I finished 5 things, so -5 to my stash, and I only bought 2. So that means that I'm down 3 in my stash totals, which means I didn't do a good job of increasing my stash, but that's okay. These are just goals. If I meet them, great. If I need to reevaluate, also great. If I don't meet them, also fine. I mean, I get frustrated with myself when I set goals and I don't meet them, but it's not the end of the world. These are diamond painting goals. So that's where I'm sitting at for my goals. Did okay with some, not so great in others, but it's all good. I've been busy with all kinds of stuff, so it's fine. After my stash video yesterday, which if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I think I'm currently sitting at 91 in my stash, which that may change. I finished Jasper C. Hopefully I'll finish this one. Hopefully I'll finish a couple of more before the end of July. But thinking about my stash, and so far, all the comments have been kind of in line with what I'm thinking. Just there gets to be a certain point, and it's a different point for everyone. There gets to be a point where it feels kind of overwhelming. I think for me, while we were living here and I was just kind of shoving them on a shelf, it didn't seem so overwhelming. But then when I had to go through and start packing everything away, it was like, wow, I have a lot of stuff. Because I've really only packed diamond paintings. I haven't packed like tools and stuff like that. So I think I just got a bit overwhelmed and trying to increase my stash. The goal of increasing my stash was based on what I wanted to do, and also a lot of people telling me that it would be expensive to basically continue to buy as I had been in the States living in Canada because things just cost more. The kits themselves are more, taxes might be more, shipping might be more. And so I just thought, well, while I'm here and we have the funds, I will just go ahead and increase my stash. But now I've gotten to the point, like I said, after packing it all up, it's like, do I really want any more of these? Which is why I liked the no buy term. I don't want to tell myself that I'm going to go on a no buy because then I'll just feel bad and disappointed in myself if I end up buying something. And it's not that I don't want to buy anything. It's just that I would like to work, I think, at this point through some of my stash and just not have as many. Currently, everything that I have in my stash is going to go with us. Obviously, I'm going to continue to work on things. So until the house sells, who knows how long that will be, I will still be working on things and filming and all of that good stuff. So things will get finished. And like I said, I don't want to say I'm on a no buy because if something really cool comes up, I don't want to put myself in a situation where I feel guilty buying something. Now, that said, with hubby not working, I probably won't be buying anything because I would feel guilty about that. Spending money on this hobby when we really need to save whatever we have to pay our bills. We would be fine, I'm sure, but just for my own peace of mind, I probably won't. However, once the house sells and we do get ready to move and all that good stuff, who knows? However, finishing those kits that are my oldest kits feels really good just to kind of get stuff that's been sitting around for what feels like forever completed finally. Felt really good. So it may be that I switch out some of my want kits that are newer for some of my older kits and work on those. I really need to sit down and just make myself a plan for August onward. Even if the plans get changed, just make a plan for what I want to work on so I know what I need access to for the rest of the year and I can plan accordingly. I think I've avoided doing that because it just always feels like something comes up or I find something new, like these little mini kits that I decided to try out that I wouldn't have been on my radar at the very beginning. Not that I mind changing the plan. I just feel like maybe I should make one because I've just kind of been for the last 2 or 3 months, just kind of been more go with the flow than usual. I mean, I do have a plan of kits that I want to work on, but I haven't been overly concerned if I wasn't super following it. And now that I'm on my last of my 5 oldest, I need to go back and look at what are the next 5 oldest. Do I want to reevaluate and move some of those onto my want series so that I can get those done? Because I told my husband, they're just kits, and I said this in the stash video too, they're just kits that while I want to do them, for whatever reason, keep just kind of getting shoved to the back of the line. whether it's because they're square, whether it's because they're big, whether it's because I think they're going to take a long time, whether it's just simply the fact that there's something newer that I want to work on more. Yeah, I just kind of need to evaluate what I want to do and where I want to go from here. I'm enjoying this little mini kit so far. I don't know if I'll buy any more of these. I just, all the extra packaging, just a turn off for me. I understand the reasoning behind it, but it's like getting all those packets of 200 drills. I can remember opening one that was a background color and I had like 100 bags of drills because they were all the 200 drill bags. No, thank you. Just not something I find enjoyable, opening all those little tiny bags. I mean, like I said, I get it, but not for me. Although they're adding more, so who knows? Maybe there will be one that strikes my fancy. They're certainly at a nicer price point than Paint Gem, even though you get more canvases in your Paint Gem. I didn't look at all of these, but these all, the ones I did look at, do seem to have a lot of the fairy dust special drills in them. So I don't know if that's the appeal for a lot of people or if it's just having a small project. For me, it was having a small project I could complete in between doing some other bigger things. Maybe I just need to resign myself that I'm just going to be working on bigger projects for a while, and that's okay. It's just hard to have enough content if everything that I'm working on is big. Then my channel turns into nothing but whip-in chats, and I don't know, that seems kind of boring, but I've also had people tell me that all the unboxings are boring, so I try to have a nice mix of things on my channel. Hopefully that's succeeds. I'm going to give this hot dog to my husband. My husband does not like hot dogs. He says he's never had one. I'm sure he did when he was a kid, but he refuses to eat them. I said, you can get all beef hot dogs. Those are okay. My husband, Mr. I'll try anything once, won't eat hot dogs. I find that so funny. All right. What else do I need to tell you guys about? And how long have I been talking? Oh, for a while. So yeah, just reevaluating my stash. The other thing about my stash is I don't know what my diamond painting space is going to look like when we move. Here, I've had basically an extra bedroom that I could use for my office / crafting stuff. So I had plenty of space to store stuff away. I don't know if that's going to continue when we move or if I will need to make do with just like a little small corner in a room somewhere. I'd really like to have a nice big sunroom, and we've looked at several houses that have those, but don't know if they'll still be there when we're ready to move. So yeah, I don't know what it's going to look like once we sell our house and hopefully figure out what we're doing up there, whether we're renting or buying, figure out where we're landing. Then we can make some decisions about, we may need to reevaluate what we're taking with us, if it's a house versus an apartment, because the space may be larger or smaller than where we are now. I'm assuming smaller, but you never know. If the house is larger or smaller, I could still have the same amount of diamond painting space. I could have less. I could have more. Who knows? So like I said, I'm not going to say that I'm on a no buy, but I am going to say that I'm on a pretty low buy from now until we sell the house at least. I've got plenty of stuff to work on. Even if I have to unpack it to get it out and work on it, that's fine. I have lots of stuff to do. I did manage to finish the one, and this one is almost done. I've just got 2 colors left on the hot dog, and then this will be done. Finish up the other 4. It's going pretty quick, and then I can move on to my belly dancer. And while I'm doing that, I'll be planning what I'm going to be doing next. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Have you tried the new pen and tray in the new toolkit? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Have you tried any of the little mini dazzles? Do you like, not like them? What do you think of them being all kind of either the fairy dust or crystal and ABs? I actually think that them being fairy dust looks pretty good on the chicken leg here. Not quite sure how I feel about the crystals being the mustard on this one. I think I might actually have preferred that to just be a yellow drill, but I'll reserve judgment. Is that crystal? It's also in the taco. It's not on the ice cream. There's a few pieces, a few crystals in the hamburger. Is there any on the pizza? Weirdly, none on the pizza, which is a lot of cheese. So interesting. Mustard. I don't know if it's mustard or cheese on the hamburger, but it's cheese on the taco. So yeah, maybe I won't leave that where it is, but yeah, let me know what you think. Have you done any of these and what did you think of them? That's it for me today, guys. Thanks for sticking around through all the rambling and all the noise. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.